Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Dugout. Happy Gandhi Jayanti to all of you. All the aggression that Indian team showed on the ground was a day before. So they ensured before 2nd October they finish all the aggression. And because this is non-violent day, so so the match is finished, and I hope you guys have also had a time to soak in. Sometimes it's not just about watching the match, it's also about reading, which is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. Once the match is done, you read about it, you see a bit of programs like the ones that come on Sports Today and various others, I'm sure you that interest you. So you watch, and then you can get a different perspective about the win, and that actually helps. So I enjoy this process of course watching the match and then reading and listening about it in the next few days, which is the best time, which you guys are, I'm sure, also doing. A lot of you cricket nuts that join us every evening on the Dugout. But what we're going to discuss today is that despite the stunning win, which we celebrated yesterday, we spoke about, shared all the insights with you, what the players had to say in terms of the post-match interviews, as well as the stats that came out of that match. All of that has been discussed, but today we thought that now that we've celebrated the win, let's do a deep dive into where the Indian team stands right now. Is it really as outstanding as it is looking at the moment, or no, there are still a few cracks that the win over Bangladesh has papered over? Maybe it was the quality of the opposition, the way they surrendered in front of the Indian team. All of that we'll look at, and what is it that India can do going forward, because remember, a tough season awaits them. Maybe not immediately, because I think New Zealand at home may not be very tough, but then you go for the Babar Azam Trophy in Australia, WTC final, so on and so forth. So we'll spend the next few minutes talking about that. But before I dive into that, I want to know from Siddharth, big news coming in from Pakistan. Babar Azam has stepped down from captaincy 6 months after being reinstated as captain. So what is the thinking behind that?
I think it had to happen, first of all. I'm not really surprised with this decision.
You're not? I was surprised.
No, I'm not actually.
Okay, why?
And I'll tell you why. Because, see, any which way is the decision to have him back as the captain after what happened in the ODI World Cup also, I don't really think it was a good one, because, first of all, it was very much unfair on Shaheen Afridi also. He was appointed your T20I captain for just a series, and then obviously he was sacked just because you wanted to have maybe Babar Azam back in the white ball format as the skipper, but then it didn't really work. And overall, in case of Babar, that we have seen in the past 1.5 years or so, ever since the ODI World Cup too, and even before that, captaincy hasn't really brought the best out of him. It was a different story way back in 2021 and 2022 T20 World Cup, when Babar the captain was performing, Babar the batter was also performing when you reached semi-finals and finals. But then the way the Pakistan cricket is actually going, there are no performances to show across formats, let alone test cricket. And that's where I think this move had to happen, because any which ways you would want someone who is actually a little high on confidence, who is a little more proactive on the field, someone like maybe Rizwan. But Babar wasn't the case with Babar.
No, it's a chicken and egg story, that you want a captain now who's high on confidence, but the fact that his confidence went is when you took away his captaincy to begin with. Then you gave him the captaincy back so that he gets confidence. But now he's given up that captaincy in 6 months because he wants confidence. It's much like Inception level, dream within dream within dream is what is happening. And so I'm failing to understand. See, I agree that to begin with, you shouldn't have taken the captaincy for him. And that's one thing that Pakistan does very often. I'm glad to see that they're giving a long extended run to Shan Masood, despite not good results, because look at the team where they are. You put any captain, I don't think it's going to change much. So if you appointed somebody captain, give him a long run, give him some time. And that's what they did with Babar for a very long time. I don't know then what happened, power change in PCB, you removed him, his confidence fell, this and that. But I thought you corrected that by reappointing him as captain. Now he is giving it up. Probably tells me the mess that Pakistan cricket is in at the moment. It's their own doing. A lot of it is their own doing. This was the same team that had knocked India out in the 2021 T20 World Cup round 1. They reached the final of the 2022 T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
And from there on, it's all been downhill. So it's obviously they're doing. But I don't buy this that he cannot perform while being captain because he's done it. See, it's not like it takes me back to, let's say, Sachin Tendulkar. And Sachin also, if you remember, had 2 stints.
Yeah.
But on both occasions, he found it a bit of a struggle with the bat.
Yes.
So captaincy, because he took too much of responsibility and he, I believe, hearing from a lot of people, because he was such a cricket nerd, he got himself involved with so many things, he started to overthink.
Yeah.
And that made things complicated for him as a batter as well. So as soon as he left that, he uncomplicated things, concentrated on his batting, runs came. But with Babar, that was not the case. Na? And there are a lot of players that I've seen. Virat is another one that comes to my mind. Then while he was captain, he could manage captaincy and it would not have an effect on his batting.
Exactly.
To an extent, Rohit is doing that even now. To a great extent, MS Dhoni also did that. Steve Smith. So with all that, I'm a bit surprised he's let that go. That this also clearly tells me, I don't know whether it's the outside pressure or what is or thing, or whether it's internal because he's not getting runs. But leaving captaincy, will it help him get runs? I don't know. I know he's getting a lot of support, a lot of former players. I saw Michael Atherton and various other players saying good. You know, I saw Mickey Arthur, their former coach, saying go and get run, concentrate, good thing. I'm not too sure.
Okay. See, with Babar, I have always felt that he's obviously more of a confidence player, and it does not. Sometimes there are some things that come naturally to most of the batters or to the cricketers, but to him, I have always felt that he needs that confidence going. He needs a lot of backing in that case. Things were obviously different way back in 2021 and the succeeding year in which Pakistan reached the T20 World Cup final. But now the way Pakistan cricket is going, I think we can actually expect a couple of more surprising decisions in the near future.
See, for me, it looks like this. In a corporate structure, when somebody is asked to go, like especially a big person in a corporate structure, it's never said that he's fired, right?
Yeah.
What is it that you typically write? You say, so and so person, let's say Siddharth is, your CEO of a company. And management decides to let you go. It's never written that we've parted. It's written Siddharth is now seeking bigger challenges in life. He wants to spend more time with family. These kind of things are written. And so is decided to take on more challenging roles ahead. We wish him the very best.
Narrative.
Yes, because obviously you respect that choice. I think in Babar's case, it's not so much his personal form. I think he has the ability to be a good batter and captain. Some people don't, but in Babar's case, we know that's not the case.
Yeah.
I think why he's given up is because of the politics and things that are being spoken about him and the environment that Pakistan cricket find themselves in. He said, to hell with this. I don't want to be in charge of a team where there are 100 other factors, whether it's what the media is writing, what people are questioning in his form, what the internal politics is, how much help he's getting in selection. He said, I don't want this. This is it. If you do not value me as that, forget it. I'll just play as a batter. I'll concentrate on my batting. I'll get my own runs.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of the Virat Kohli situation.
Okay.
See, even though Virat mentioned that he wants to give up and he himself announced it, all that, but come on, we all knew the atmosphere around Virat at that time, the uncertainty that was built up at that time, that made him feel a bit insecure. And at one point he said, is it worth it? If you're going to question me and my commitment as a captain or my ability as a captain, then okay, fine. I'm not here hankering for that captaincy. You take it. I'll continue to score. So I think it's pretty similar to what Virat felt at that time. It doesn't matter what X said, Y said, I'm not even getting into that tutu. But we know this for a fact that he let go of all of that because of external pressures. And I think that's what Babar has done. But we'll see whether that really helps the Pakistan white ball team. At the moment, they have to be content with their red ball cricket, which is in doldrums. We've got a video up of what their test captain has to go through. It's not a coincidence that a question is asked to Shan Masood a day before, and the next day Babar only resigns from white ball, because Shan is asked that will you continue as captain, to which he responded earlier saying, listen, I will continue till the management wants me to, I'll continue. To counter question came from another journalist saying, but don't you feel any self-respect, any responsibility? The team is not doing well. So that press conference happened. 18 hours later, Babar Azam said, so Babar said, before I am asked a similar question in a press conference, nahi chahiye bhai.
See, Shan Masood himself is on thin ice. He's yet to win a test match as Pakistan's captain, ever since he has been appointed as the full-time skipper. Lost 3 against Australia, then now 2 against Bangladesh also, and things don't really
I think
also.
I think they'll continue with Shan for some time, which is fine. But if you think you don't get successful, I think Rizwan is that captain in waiting. Make him that captain in all format, performs with the bat as well. I think he will be the... Anyway, that's another debate. We're going to talk about India's issues, but before we talk about India's issues, there is another issue that's crept up, which is Mohammad Shami not going to be back as expected. I'm missing Shashwat today because he had picked Shami to play the New Zealand series. And I said that we will only pick him once we know if he's fit. He said no. Then I didn't stop him because he knows players personally.
He's a former test cricketer
so
himself,
if he's saying it, then I believe it. Then I thought maybe he's spoken to him, so he's going to play. But unfortunately, Shami has now said what? He's not going to be available for
so the latest report that's it says that Shami has developed swollen knees now, while rehabbing for his heel surgery that he had in February earlier this year. And if obviously the reports are to be believed, then he's going to be out of action at least for the next 6 to 8 weeks, which means he'll more than likely not be a part of the New Zealand series and will also miss maybe the first couple of tests of the Babar Azam.
That's a big blow.
Yeah. He is a doubtful starter for BGT, that's for sure. And any which ways, we don't see him playing for the New Zealand series also, which means an additional workload for the likes of Bumrah, Siraj and AajTak here.
That actually leads us, that's interesting, but that actually leads us to the topic that we're discussing today, that what are the cracks? Are there any cracks firstly, and what are the cracks? Or are we getting, too happy with the Bangladesh win, which is an outstanding win as we've discussed the last couple of days, historic in fact. But the issue is, and one of them, we'll start with certain things that India need to fix, and I think fast bowling is that. You've got a Jasprit Bumrah, I agree, he's the ace in the pack, ace of spade, 100%. But we also know he's not going to be playing all test matches. He played these 2 test matches, which is a welcome change, very happy for that. But that's also because he's going to get a bit of a gap now. He's not playing the white ball series, so he can come back fresh for the New Zealand series. There he's going to play, I think, 1 test, maybe rest him for the second, get him to play the 3rd test match. So there he'll get a rest, but then again in Babar Gavaskar you do it. So, but assuming, so one is that, which means in a test match and in a series like Babar Gavaskar where you will rest him at least 1 or 2 test matches, we don't know, but if you're resting him 1 test match also, what is going to be your bowling lineup? Are you going to be confident with that bowling lineup? The only one, and while Akashdeep has been brilliant and he's done very well, he's making sure that you do not miss someone like Mohammad Shami. But let's not forget, he is still about 3 test matches old. 3 test match bowler can on occasions get you those breakthrough, but he can't be a leader of an attack. Today we are in a situation where on a given test match where Jasprit Bumrah is not playing, your leader of the attack is going to be a 3 test match old Akashdeep. Yes, India did the unthinkable in the BGT.
I was coming to that.
No, but it cannot happen every time. Let's be honest, right? You need if you have to win a series overseas, let's not even get specific. We've often said that it's the fast bowling unit that does it, and we were very lucky, when Virat Kohli kind of had that sort of a revolution with fast bowling, and as I think because under MS you had reached a stage where you were happy fast bowlers were just there to make up numbers. He would rather have spin bowlers bowl in the test matches, and you mostly won test matches in a different style. I think Virat came and said, no, fast bowling overseas, I'll play with 4 fast bowlers also if need be. He did that. But he was lucky to have Ishant Sharma, Umesh Yadav, Mohammad Shami, in his ranks. And then he would get Bumrah later on and so on and so forth. But suddenly, you tell me, if you have to play in a pitch where you need 4 fast bowlers, who are your 4 fast bowlers, and are those 4 fast bowlers with enough experience and wicket taking ability, assuming Jasprit Bumrah is rested for that match and Mohammad Shami is not fit, who are your bowlers?
I can only name two here, and obviously it's Akashdeep and Mohammad Siraj. But you'll be like struggling to find the other two, and one can obviously be Yash Dayal here.
But the problem is also, if you're talking about cracks, Siraj's form
Is a concern.
And I'm not again going by 1 or 2 test matches. If you see, even in white ball cricket for some time now, he had a year and a half or so had reached the stage where you're looking at him in Bumrah's absence as the leader of your attack, and he had kind of become your best all format bowler. But is that sudden dip is alarming.
True. See, I had been thinking about it ever since, like, I did that Mohammad Shami thing, in the morning today. And India's are actually lacking those fast bowling reserves. And that's going to be a big problem, because any which ways you have moved on from Ishant Sharma, you have definitely moved on from Umesh Yadav also. What kind of, confidence does the likes of, Yash Dayal or maybe Prasidh Krishna are giving to the management? I'm not really sure about it, because one of the things that is common in most of the fast bowlers that are coming now for the Indian cricket team, Dayal, Prasidh Krishna, you have Mukesh Kumar,
yes,
then there's a certain Avesh Khan also, Khalil Ahmed for that matter. I think if there's one thing that is common in almost all of them, and that is basically injury concerns. I don't really say, as we say, it's a good thing in Hindi that we say, lambi race ka ghoda hai. Now, this is something that I feel that is actually missing in most of the bowlers, and that's where you have seen that, there haven't been those, debuts, or there haven't been those, quality debuts that India had maybe at the time when they had those multiple injuries in the Border Gavaskar Trophy in 2020, and then the likes of Sundar came up. Then obviously there was Thakur also. Thakur had already made his debut, but he got injured after bowling 1.5 overs in that match against West Indies. But then they're not really showing that kind of confidence, and this is where I feel that India might just struggle in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. See, the 3 matches against New Zealand are going to be absolutely fine. I'm not really worried about it. You can still give a debut to Yash Dayal. You can bring back Prasidh Krishna also for that matter, because he's doing at least he's proving his fitness after playing in the Dulip Trophy and the Irani Cup. But what scares me, to be very honest, is that just two things. Number one, Smith and Manas haven't been at the best of their forms in the past 1 year or so, and this is where I feel that they might strike their best against India. And number two, you definitely cannot afford to have Bumrah, and obviously Shami more than likely will not play all the test matches, and there's a good chance that Bumrah would also
no,
not
I'm
play all
not
the matches.
considering Shami right now. That's not all because see, this is being pushed forward. No fault of his. He went through a major surgery. It takes time, and we're just sitting in October. 1 month later, BGT starts in November, right? So we are very close to that. So truth be told, let's at the moment assume that he's not going to be available for you. So you have to look at life beyond that. 2 things. One, you spoke about Shardul Thakur, interesting pick. But the thing is, I don't think Shardul, you ever looked at him. He has the experience, but I don't think you ever looked at him as a bowler that will run through opposition as a bowler. Exactly. You used him as a utility cricketer, because you would not ever have a fast bowling all-rounder. Hardik Pandya wasn't playing test cricket. How do you fulfill that gap, which you fulfill very well in Indian conditions with your spin bowling all-rounders? Yes. There it does not happen. You need a fast bowling all-rounder. That's where Shardul chips in. So if he picks a wicket or 2 and becomes a partnership breaker, that's an added bonus. But you're not expecting him to run through sides, right? Exactly. So you need your 3 fast bowlers to do that. So he's out. The other is, you talk about all these players who did decently well in Dulip, some of them playing Irani Trophy. Whether it was a Khalil, whether it was an Avesh, these are players that you're trying to get. But the thing is, you should take the example of a Mukesh, who in the recent past was a domestic giant. But you realize the difference as soon as you come to the international level. Not everyone can be as good as Akashdeep. Yeah. Who on the first few games is giving you that hope. And which is why I'm saying Siraj's form is that crucial bit. I hope that this dip in form that he's had, not just the last 2 test match, but for a considerable amount of time now in the calendar year, he gets over it. By the time BGT comes along, he's also that fiery sort of a character who gets pumped up. Maybe he does all that and he reaches that level. But if that is not the case, to work with a Khalil / Yash / Avesh alongside a Siraj and an Akashdeep, it is not going to be a bowling attack that's going to put fear in the minds of the opposition batters.
Exactly.
The only one that will do that at the moment is Jasprit Bumrah. Whichever test matches he plays, your spinners also that actually scare opposition batters at home do not have that kind of impact there. So your big guns like Ashwin and Jadeja, who actually can run through sides, but will that happen in Australia? No. So your batting can still step up. You will go with a star-studded batting lineup, and we'll talk about the batting too. But your bowling, your fast bowling reserves, you really need to. I think this New Zealand series, you will need few of them. Maybe you will need a Siraj to step up, show us that form, because it can't suddenly happen that you reach Australia and you turn that switch on and he'll be at his best, right? You'll have to give us glimpses now going forward that he's getting there or thereabouts.
See, I spoke about a fast bowler who I feel, and obviously you would also agree with it, that India have moved on from, but that was under the coaching of Rahul Dravid. Do you think that India should bring back Umesh Yadav for Australia tour? He's fit, he's playing well, he did well in the last year's Ranji Trophy also for that matter. So why not bring him back? He has the experience of bowling in the Australian conditions that has stood down under thrice, beginning from, in fact 4 times, beginning from 2011. So why not have him?
That's a good point. And on cue, Shivam, our producer, shows us something. This is Umesh Yadav's Instagram feed. We keep talking about, get Pujara back, Rahane back in terms of batting. Whenever look at fast bowlers, it's not a bad option. We'll also have to see how. I know that Virat Kohli was a huge backer of Umesh Yadav, was a big fan of Umesh Yadav. But now the captain has changed, but the coach has also changed. I know that Gautam kind of likes Umesh Yadav. He's really backed him for a very long time. Not a bad option to
even at 35 or 36, to have this kind of fitness, I think it's exemplary as far as the Indian cricket circuit is concerned.
Navdeep Saini? No,
he is injury prone.
No, but I was just drawing the connection between the coach and Navdeep Saini.
No, but Navdeep Saini will definitely be in contention for BGT because he has at least proven his fitness in the Duleep Trophy. He's bowled long spells, taken a good 10 or 12 odd wickets also in 3 matches.
That's why I took his name.
Yeah, I think he will definitely be in contention.
Plus the connection as always, like you remember Gautam fought against the entire DDCA during his time here. I know. So there is a background. Why not, look at somebody like that? You may have to, because do you have that bunch of fast bowlers? Which is why I think Duleep Trophy was interesting to see some of those fast bowlers. Even Avesh did decently well. Khalil did pretty well in that. Irani Trophy is going to be that. Then you'll have a few rounds of Ranji matches. I think you will be watching them very closely.
October 11th only,
So that's the bit about fast bowling. Let's also talk about the other crack that I do see at the moment, which is some big runs. I need some big runs from my batters. No, honestly, I'll start with all of them one by. Yashasvi has been getting you big runs in the England series.
350 is 2 matches here.
He got it in the England series also. He's got it here also. So, okay, no problem. Yes, Yashasvi, you will probably talk about, England conditions, didn't do well in South Africa, whatever. That's another debate which we'll have closer to the BJT, though I personally feel that he'll do well. But let's talk about it. I think Rohit should have used this opportunity in the second innings to get some runs. It wouldn't have been a big total, but while we all enjoyed that first innings approach, which was outstanding, and that's why I'm calling it row ball, not go ball or whatever else people are calling, gam ball or whatever, remains row ball because he's decided to do that. But I'm sure second innings didn't have to play that. You had enough time, right? You finished the match in the session and a half. Why just play conventional test cricket, which is something he can play. Even in tough conditions here, he's got runs. So that's one thing I want to see in the New Zealand series. Rohit Sharma get run. I want Virat Kohli to get me some big runs. He had, not an ideal time in these 2 test matches versus Bangladesh. Also because, first test match wasn't great. Second, different sort of a situation you had to bat under. Doesn't allow you to play conventional test cricket, which is his strength. I agree to all of that. But New Zealand will offer that. So I would want runs under his belt. You're going to Australia, runs under your belt in red ball cricket. To put to bed all the ghosts from the last 2 years of test match cricket that he's had. Shubman Gill, I know, had a good England series, had a decent outing in Bangladesh, but still some more runs going there. KL Rahul,
good 50 in the second innings.
Yes,
Kanpur, first innings Kanpur.
But 100 or 2 in New Zealand. Very much
Absolutely.
you need that. So right now also.
Sarfaraz is breathing down his neck 200 today in Irani Cup.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. But credit to KL, he's also kept the pace high.
Yeah.
In the sense he's not slacking down. But again, as I said, that one innings you didn't allow him to play, declared it.
The second Chennai match, no?
Yeah, and
but I
then-
think his 68 was like very crucial in India's
Yes.
because that's why they got a 50-run lead here. Had it not been for his 68, things would have been different.
True, but I still think that those are the areas where even your batting,
Yeah.
you need some big runs because you're going to Australia in a long time after without a Pujara or a Rahane.
Yeah.
That's where everyone else needs to step up. Pant has shown great comeback since he's come, but I still want some big innings under his belt. He got that in Chennai, but against New Zealand, a couple of hundreds under his belt also. He goes to Australia with a beast mentality with runs under belt. So that's the other thing that India will need to work on for the BGT. So it's not all hunky-dory as I see at the moment. Few things that you could work on.
Absolutely. For me, I think the biggest cause of concern is Virat Kohli's form, to be honest. I'll tell you why. See, in case of Rohit Sharma, I think he is now that kind of a batter from whom I think even in Test cricket also, not just ODIs now, because T20 is something that he's retired from, T20 internationals. I feel that even in Test cricket also, there is nothing more that we should expect from Rohit Sharma apart from those quick 80 or 90 odd from maybe 70, 80 odd balls. Because this is where I feel that Rohit now as a batter is just about is not going to be
No, but
about
why,
those
Siddharth?
big innings.
Why?
But those,
He can play those big innings.
he can play those big innings, but I think
He's played those big innings.
but he has changed his approach now, and I think what he feels here is that for me it's not about me getting those hundreds or 200. It's about just making an impact and then leaving it to the rest of the batters.
But do you need that kind of impact in Test cricket in every match? Yes, not
You
every match is not
definitely
going to
need
need
in
it.
Australia.
Yeah, but you don't see again. If you're saying, let's say, an impact like Sehwag,
Yeah.
but Sehwag gave you an impact, but that did not mean that he would compromise on a big innings. He would give you big innings. So I'm saying, why should we settle only? He should look at giving you. See, he's one of your senior players who has played big innings.
Yeah, he has obviously.
So why not? Why not use him to get those big innings? There's no hurry. Play conventional cricket. Not every time do you need. When I say not every time do you need to bat at 8 and over, which you did for Bangladesh. Bat at good 3, 4 and over, which is a healthy run rate to have. Why not?
Yeah, see, I'm not going to deny that, because this is the approach that even I would want to see in any of the test batters that watch play. But the point is that if you are to win in Australia, or if you have to basically land that knockout punch, I think it's only Rohit who is going to do that. Because for Rohit, I am not really excited to see Rohit score those 120 or 130 odd. Great if he gets that, nothing wrong with it. But if he scores that, let's say if he scores 85 of 60 odd balls in that first innings or the second innings he's playing, I'm telling you that Australians are going to be down on confidence then. You have to basically knock Australia down, and obviously not everyone can be play that Pujara SQ innings. In that case, you stay on the crease, score those 70 or 80 out of 200 balls. With Australia, it's going to be about fighting fire with fire, and I think it has to start with Rohit doing that.
But we'll see. We'll see how that tour goes on. Let's take a few comments, Shivam. We have, by the way, just a reminder, lots of videos on the IPL auction strategy. Do check them out for each team and let us know your thoughts as well. Okay, Dhanush says, doesn't matter if Sarfaraz keeps scores in hundreds in first class cricket. As we know, KL Rahul will play 100 tests at below 35 average.
No, I don't completely agree with this. See, we also have to understand one thing, that the management hasn't really been completely fair with KL Rahul also. He's batted at different positions, has always been the yes man that, the man that team always looked up to, but now he has been given that kind of a role, and I feel that at least for the next few matches, he's going to be persisted with.
Also, I think, and see, it's not that KL Rahul, I don't know why that perception is there. It's not that KL Rahul is not droppable. He has been dropped. He's been dropped previously as well. So let's be honest. It's not the first time that that we are talking about him being dropped. He's not part of the T20 squad anymore.
Yeah.
So he has been dropped for that. It's as simple as that. Has he been dropped from the test team before? Yes, he has been dropped from the test team before. Was he probably first in line to be dropped from now in the Indian test team? He was. But he had to get a few runs, which he did.
Yeah.
So, which means he keeps his spot. He's also, let's not forget, the guy who's got you overseas hundreds in tough conditions. While his average, I agree, is not desirable. That is something that he needs to change. But I guess, we'll see how these 3 test matches go. If he gets runs, he plays. If he doesn't, by the way, don't be surprised if he doesn't get a few good innings, even in BGT to begin with. Who knows, you'll change midway. It's happened before.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Aditya Kavlekar says, get Arshdeep and Mukesh Kumar into the mix when we were talking about bowlers. Valid point, but all I said was, you got to look at, see, again, Arshdeep, I'm happy to see him come back into red ball cricket, because to me, he had become a white ball bowler, hardly playing Ranji Trophy as well, wasn't there. So I think this new change in BCCI, the outlook that BCCI has, the new coach in Gautam Gambhir, I think the new selector in AajTak, they're all putting emphasis on playing red ball. So he's getting in. Yeah, you would need it, but I need bowlers can win you test matches, and I need to see a bit more from an Arshdeep and a Mukesh or a Khalil or a Avesh, whoever does it at the highest level.
True.
The only breath of fresh air has been Akashdeep.
Yeah.
That's it. Introspect says Shami, if absent, is a huge blow. Will be difficult to take 20 wickets in Australia.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I think
You can do without Shami with your spinners in India.
Yeah.
Overseas completely changes. You're absolutely right. Future IITN says, I don't think win is going to change the culture. Indian test culture already changed under Virat Kohli. If we do this in Australia like 2014, then we could say a new era. 2-day test forced India to play like this. Yeah, but I think, even that approach with the way they said, where they said it's okay we get out for cheaply, because now you get to know from what the players are saying. I think that is a change of approach. We'll, of course, when you say something is a turning point or a milestone, it has to then be seen going forward, and we'll only wait. But I did think that this is that turning point. You will see it. You'll probably see it in Australia, how they are. And again, to see that change in culture, you can look at white ball cricket and you've seen that.
True.
You've seen that change. So I think there is a conscious effort with Rohit Sharma, the captain, do that. And I completely agree with Virat Kohli. He did that. 2014 was another test match in Adelaide that changed Indian test cricket. Similar.
Yeah. Frickin' awesome has a comment that definitely there are areas to fix. Number one is obviously adapting quickly to overseas conditions. I remember even Sunny Gavaskar also talking about it, that you have to start to win those opening test matches in overseas, because it's going to lay the platform for you for the remaining matches. Then it's number 2 is need to find more quality pacers, something that we discussed. Number 3, need to find fast bowling all-rounders. Yep. And a regular left-arm pacer.
Both of we have been trying to find since Kapil Dev, sir. Not found fast ball. We found one who doesn't play red ball cricket anymore. He's been practicing with a red ball. Whether he'll come back into the thing or not, we don't know. Yeah. But fast bowling. Now they're trying. They are getting Nitish Reddy, Shivam Dubey, and all of them into the mix. But let's see. I mean, I have seen, many. Whether it was Shardul also is trying. They tried Irfan Pathan. He could be that. Many have been tried. Ajit Agarkar was one of them that you could look at. But all of them had one stronger suit. Fast bowling all-rounder. I hope all of this that we're talking about, Hardik making himself available will change all of this. Hamza said ki saadi bhi gal sunno, but Hamza, we are listening to you, but you have to tell us a question. We'll this part of our show we only listen.
Yeah.
But what is it that you want us to listen? Let us know. Mr. Shekhar, he's a GTN. He joins us from USA and he says, good morning, gents. Good morning to you as well. Don't mind, but why didn't you start the retention with recent champs, barring CSK, MI, like KKR, GT, or even LSG? Why RCB, DC? Well, Mr. Shekhar, listen, don't look at conspiracy theories for everything. We did not pick and choose teams. We just started. All of them have been done, barring 1 or 2. Even those are going to be up very soon. So we just wanted to space it out. We're almost done with 8 out of 10 teams. By tomorrow, all 10 will be done. So we just want to space it out. That's why. No conspiracy theory, no playing favorites. I'm sorry, but there was nothing like that. But don't worry, you're a GT fan. GT video is also going to be coming up very soon.
Okay. Any more comments, Shivam?
Okay. We've got Vishal. He says Siraj needs a break. He should be rested for New Zealand series. Huh?
Then who do you have? Yash Dayal making his debut.
You see, again in New Zealand series you can do with it.
Yeah.
Because Bumrah will play a couple of test matches. Your spinners will do the job. Akashdeep is doing it. So you can survive, win. The problem only arises when you reach. So rest him, but I don't know whether rest will help him. I think playing will help him. He needs to get a few wickets. I think that will, really help. We had a few other suggestions. Somebody saying Jaydev Unadkat.
Yeah. Kartik Tyagi also.
Kartik Tyagi. Yeah, but again, we'll see. Acha, Hamza has finally come up with this comment. He's saying Sri Lanka versus India WTC final. What is the equation for Sri Lanka? I think win 3 out of 4.
Yeah, Sri Lanka have 4 matches remaining, 2 against South Africa and 2 against Australia. So South Africa this year, Australia next year.
At home?
And Australia is at home, South Africa is overseas. So if you win
come
3,
on, yeah.
So I'll tell you.
I know the famous win that they had in Centurion, was it?
Yeah. Kusal Mendes,
yes.
They even won the series that year, 2019. See, I'll tell you just a very simple scenario. That if India beat Australia 2-1 or 3-1, for example, if India beat Australia 2-1 or 3-1, then the series between Australia and Sri Lanka is going to be a possible shootout. You win, you're probably going to face India in the final.
Whoa!
Yes. That's assuming Sri Lanka defeats South Africa.
But that is...
Yeah, see, these scenarios are going to be like there. Yeah, it is going to be like there.
I know a lot of
But it could be a possible shootout. Yes.
Yeah, I know a lot of you are saying, but it's going to be tough. Okay. Varun Parvataneni is saying, which team was the toughest and easiest for you guys in terms of retention? Good question. Varun, we'll try and answer that. We're planning to do either tomorrow or day after our dugout on just the comments that you guys have put on our videos. I don't personally see it, but what I'll tell is our producer in Shivam, he will take out the comments that are in agreement, the comments that are against us, the comments that are nasty also, we'll try and take it, whatever the comments are, based on our selection of some of the teams, and then try and do a dugout giving you the reasons why we picked an X and why not Y. So just wait for that. We will try and do that particular video. It's coming up. But just to answer toughest and the easiest team, I don't know what the toughest team. KKR was tough to do because of too many choices. RR was not easy.
Yeah, RR was not easy.
So there are tough.
That video is going to get uploaded soon.
Easiest will be Punjab.
TBKS.
Because they will release everyone. So they will release everybody. They will not. I think LSG is another one that was easy to do.
Yeah.
Okay. But we'll do a detailed dugout on that. Hamza wants to know, hi Nikhil, you interviewed me outside MCG on the eve of India-Pakistan game on the 22nd of October. Hi Hamza. Virat broke our hearts, but I'm glad I witnessed his best, including the shot of the century. So Hamza is from Pakistan, stays in Australia. I agree. In fact, Hamza, that was the common sentiment that I saw from most Pakistani fans that turned up at the ground. So I remember once the game got over, of course, Indian fans were ecstatic. Even Pakistan fans were not upset. They said, okay, our teams have lost, we're sad, but we got to see Virat's inning. And that I think we'll remember for a very long time. And that was a great gesture. I remember that game very well. That's true, Hamza. Pretty much a lot of other Pakistani fans had similar feelings to share. Mr. Shekhar is saying, don't take it seriously, Nikhil sir, just observe. I'm not taking it seriously, just letting you know. No conspiracy. Don't worry, we'll do. GT is going to be up soon, don't worry. Rakesh Bhushan says, where are the Pujaras, Lakshmans, Rahanes, Sarfrazes of India? Now extinct. You can't have KL and Shreyas with mediocre batting who can't play a full session with authority. By the way, again, a bit unfair on KL. He's played plenty full sessions, huh?
He has been responsible for India's, some of India's best wins overseas. He scored a century in a few of them also.
Yeah, I agree. Priyanshu says, give game time to Akashdeep, Dayal, Mukesh against New Zealand. Now Hardik becomes the trump card. I really want Rohit, Virat, Rahul to score big tons. These 20-40s won't win this BGT. Absolutely, Priyanshu. You're just echoing exactly what we said. Nick sir, any news about Delhi Capitals head coach act now? Good question. No, nothing as of now. But now that you've given me a clue,
maybe it's going to be Saurabh Ganguly taking over the reins?
I'm not sure, but I will now that you've asked me, I will work on it. I will work the phone lines for you. Thanks for asking that. Siddharth saying, listening to your discussion feels like BGT, OG, Shardul, Washi, Navdeep gonna return. And Nikhil sir, number 8, Iniesta retiring. Do you count him in your all-time 11? I do. He's my favorite player. I think after Messi, my next favorite is Andres Iniesta. I definitely do.
But I think 3 of the 2 BGT OGs are definitely returning, or 2 of the 3 actually. Shardul and Navdeep, I'm not really sure about Vashi because you already have Akshar Patel. So I don't really see India taking another spin all-rounder there.
Varun Parvataneni is saying, any chance Rohit can go to Bangalore as captain? I know there's been a lot of buzz about that. Personally, if you ask me, I don't see that happening. Mumbai may not want to let him go. But never say never. Huh? Who thought that Hardik would replace Rohit there? So we'll look at that. Sachin Kashyap wants to know, yesterday Arsenal's win over PSG and Barca win over Young Boys are the favourite in Champions League. Sir, your views? I saw both games. Arsenal looked very good, but PSG is not the PSG that they used to be. They've had a dip in form. Manchester City had a very good result, 4-0 if I'm not mistaken. Also Barca result not taking it too seriously because it's come against Young Boys. So still plenty of time, plenty of good teams to be tracking. I think too early to call Champions League now. Mayank Thaplyal. He says, last time it was Toota hai Dhaba ka Ghamand. This time it's going to be Toota hai Adelaide ka Ankar.
Another day-night game in Adelaide.
You agree with him?
I don't know. I would really want to hold my horses. Seriously.
Yeah, I know. Okay, last couple of comments. King D says, looking at the T20 team selection, looks like Gambhir wants out-and-out fast bowlers. He does not want dibbly-dobbly medium pacers like Mukesh Avesh. Yeah. But then Avesh is not a dibbly-dobbly medium pacer, by the way.
No, maybe he's probably referring to Mukesh here, but then Avesh is a proven performer. I think he's for RR he was their designated Yorker specialist in the IPL 2024 also. Yeah.
Varun Parvataneni wants to know, where is Deepak Chahar? I'm guessing in the physio's room. NCA. Because he's only available to play IPL. That also he cannot go through a full IPL. Fitness is a real issue with him. Yeah. Unfortunately, maybe some people, their body types are such, but that is what it is. Okay. Last 2 comments. Act Now says, thank you guys, best for poor people like me who love cricket. At least you guys take our questions without super chats. Yeah, we try and do that. It's a two-way communication. We try and do that every day. Final comment from Anshu. He says, Nikhil sir and Siddharth sir, both of you picked top 4 greatest performance by overseas batter in the last 30 years. My top 4 are Smith. Series wise.
Yeah, series wise.
In Ashes, Cook in India 2012, good shout. Kohli in England and Cook in 2011 Ashes. This is a tough one to pick just offhand, Anshu. I think we'll spend some time and maybe come up with that. Just tough to just pick offhand like a great performance. But the Smith in 2019 Ashes,
he was.
What a performance that was. Yeah. Smith in India also 2017, by the way.
Even Smith against India 2014, that Kohli 693 runs.
Kohli in 2014?
693 at an average of 86.5. Yeah.
In Australia?
Yeah.
Many.
The only failure came in Goa, that's it. Rest he scored everywhere. Adelaide, MCG, Sydney.
So we will think about it and come back to you. But thank you guys for joining us, for your comments. Take care. I hope you all had a great holiday today. Do give us a like on the video. It means a lot to us if you watch our content. And don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today if you haven't already. Press the bell icon, then all these IPL videos that we're doing and all other sports related videos you'll get to know. From Siddharth and I, bye-bye, good night, Shubhratri, Vanakkam, Nandri, etc.
Eat your vegetables and don't trouble your mother.
Yes.
I'll do the Shashwat thing today.
Bye.